But Johnny, let's close out the podcast talking still about Marvel, still about the MCU.
More Marvel.
It's our first non-Avengers topic because this is going to go on. No, it's going to go on after
I know,
Avengers.
It's a joke.
So that's why it's not an Avengers topic, but it could all play off of what we see after Avengers. So we do know for sure movies that we are getting in Phase 4. We're going to get Far From Home. Then we're going to get Black Widow. Then I believe
There's supposed to be a second
it's going to
Black
be
Panther.
Eternals, Black Panther 2, Doctor Strange 2 is being streamlined up. Guardians is being delayed still. But the news that Kevin Feige gave us was that they do have plans to introduce Namor into the universe of the MCU. And he said they probably will not give him his own movie, that he will probably be like the Hulk and Thor Ragnarok kind of paired with somebody in someone else's movie. So I'm just going to ask you, let's say you are now Kevin Feige. Congratulations. You are now in the body of Kevin Feige. How would you introduce Namor into the MCU?
Well, one we brought up earlier, if you go back to our first podcast, I think it was, right? When we talked about, this week's first podcast where we talk about the
first
trailer, first segment.
The beginning of this
I kind of threw it in there. What if Thor's asking an army to help him? He's like, you have a huge army. We need your help. What if that's the army is Namor?
So you're
that's
saying we're just putting him in Avengers 4?
Maybe.
Putting him right in.
Maybe. I'm saying that's one option.
Okay.
But the other one I was thinking, what if it's in Black Panther 2?
It could. Atlantis versus Wakanda.
Yeah.
I mean, why? Here's the question I would ask. Why would Atlantis be going to war with Wakanda or vice versa?
Who knows? I don't know what this comic book wise. I don't know why they fight 100%. So that I cannot say particularly. But I'm saying like they tend to have a rivalry.
They do.
So that's what one I'd say. Hey, that's kind of an easy in for him because they can show like what set up the rivalry, why it is. Maybe they're ancient, like maybe Wakanda and Atlantis are ancient rivals. And now with the new king in succession, everything that happened in what the fuck was it called? Infinity Wars. God damn it, why couldn't I think? Everything happened in Infinity Wars. Snap, Namor, half his people are gone. Blames the surface.
I got something else.
First of all, and more so blames Wakanda, saying they're alien tech, it's their fucking fault, blah, blah, blah.
I'm going to set this up, I don't know if this is going to be a stretch, but I'm going to say it anyways. So, Namor has often been described as Marvel's first what, Johnny? Starts with an M. It's a word we haven't been able to use that we can probably now use. Mutant. Okay. Marvel's first mutant. What if the first X-Men movie we get...
He's not a mutant, though.
Just listen to me.
I'm listening.
So the first X-Men movie we get is X-Men, the first mutant. And it is basically the X-Men against Namor.
Interesting.
Where, like you were saying, Namor, something happens, pissed at the surface world. It's not Wakanda he's going after. The X-Men are dealing with it.
Yeah.
That's how we introduce where we have mutants all over the place, but we learn that, hey, you guys think you're new to this with the whole mutant thing and in hiding? No. I have been here long before. Because like it says here, Marvel has repeatedly identified Namor as Marvel's first mutant, which is true with regard to the order in which the character appeared in print. He is not the oldest mutant within the fictional Marvel Universe timeline. A number of mutants predate him, including Saline, Apocalypse, Exodus, Wolverine. I almost said Exodia, like Yu-Gi-Oh. Exodus.
I think you need like 5 cards for that, right?
Wolverine, Mystique, and Destiny.
Wolverine's older than him?
Wolverine was late 19th century AD.
Yeah, I know.
Is what they have.
I know. That's what
this is. And then Mystique and Destiny, dates of birth unknown. but known to have been active at the dawn of the 20th century. The demonic mutant Azrael and a group of mutants known as the Externals. Which, that to me could be, what better way to introduce the X-Men than going, we're just going to have we're going to have mutant on mutant, not give you Magneto to start. We're going to give the X-Men going up against this. And then at the end, it could be, we're not defeating this. Professor X says, no, we've got to turn him into good. And then at the end of that, we can set up the Illuminati, because then we'll already have Iron Man, who will be out of the Iron Man suit, and he'll be more of just like a political figure. Well, political figure for that, like a suit and tie figure for that. Him, Professor X, Doctor Strange, Namor, Black Panther. Then we can finally get the Illuminati with Professor X and Namor being added to it, and it all being put together by Charles Xavier.
Could be. The only thing I could think of is, like, we didn't even introduce the X-Men yet. That's the only downside I see to it. Otherwise, I do like it. But
could you see a way of that being how we introduce the X-Men?
It could be.
Like, hey, we're mutants, and mutants are finally here. We've just been hiding. Oh, wait. We're not the only ones. People on land are not the only mutants. Here are mutants from the sea.
Yeah, the only thing, like I said, the only thing I'm wondering if, like, that's too much, also too much introduction. Oh, there's a bunch of X-Men. Oh, here's also Namor. I like it, other than, like, we have to see how Marvel wants to set up their X-Men universe now. So that's why I brought up more so
him against Wakanda, because
Wakanda's cemented there already. It's ready for you. And we're having a Black Panther 2 movie. Hey, let's make it against Namor.
Plus, I mean, you got to understand, we're probably going to get a new Thor.
Yeah.
So we got to introduce that. We're going to get a new Captain America, so it can't be him going against Cap. Tony Stark is leaving the Iron Man role, so we're going to get probably a new Iron Man-like figure.
Yeah.
With all these characters leaving after Avengers, Black Panther is going to be the one. It's like him and Spider-Man are the two, and you're not going to put Namor against Spider-Man.
No.
Like, Black Panther makes sense.
Exactly.
It's
because
just
they have a rivalry anyways. And I'd say I would put it as a blame the surface world. This is just me, and I said it earlier.
Yeah.
He blames the surface world. Comes up just like with a vengeance, as opposed to coming up as like, well, what the fuck is going on? Since he was down there and not paying attention to anything, whatever was going down there. That's what my thought was. And then maybe he just like pitches a fit, goes after Wakanda, because that's the first enemy he thinks of. Like, you know what? Screw this. War against the surface world. Now that we have all our people back in Avengers 4, whatever the hell happened with that, this is it. I'm done bowing down to the surface. We're taking it all over. It's ours now. He comes up as like, I'm going up first, and whatever else. Like, you're not gonna have like a full out war, Wakanda v that. He's gonna come up and just like pitch a fit up there.
Yeah.
Have him versus Black Panther, and eventually the end part will be the resolve of like, no, we're on the same side. This is the shit that went on, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I'm kind of, right now,
I don't have a great story layout, I know, but
yeah,
I'm trying to give you some idea.
To me, this one is not going to be the easy. It's not like
the easiest
Thor Ragnarok, where it's like, oh, we can do this.
Thor Ragnarok, in parentheses, Planet Hulk.
Yeah, which Planet Hulk, like, which story are they going to use? And with Namor, it's kind of, I mean, the thing that I find weird about it is you got to, like, with Thor Ragnarok, you didn't have to introduce Thor or the Hulk.
Exactly.
Because we already had them in the universe. With Namor, you
still have to introduce Namor.
You're introducing him, so obviously my X-Men idea, although I would love that, is not going to be it, because why would we introduce two things? That's way too much.
We don't want to BVS it. No, I say that because throwing too many things in at one time.
Exactly.
That's where my biggest gripe comes to which is why I compare it to that.
That shouldn't have been... Well, that movie don't get me started. Like,
I know, I'm not
going to
get you started.
Was originally, I was talking about this with my buddy Pete, and it was something where I can't remember what he said. Either Batman was supposed to kill Superman, or Superman was supposed to kill Batman. Also, the thing I don't like is it's like Gotham and Metropolis. Why are they so close?
Yeah, they're not right supposed across to be, the bay.
Yeah, it's like they're not supposed to be that close to each other because they're supposed to be separated. Because then it's like Batman's not just gonna go over to Metropolis, just gonna go across the bay, nah, or vice versa with Superman. But like I said, that's one I can go all day, kind of bitching about that movie. This is the one for me with Namor where I don't have an exact. The one thing I know for sure is it's good that they are going to do him with someone else because of two things. One, does he have the pull to have his own solo movie? Yeah. I'm going to say no. Number two, Marvel does not want to do the DC thing. DC is already Aquaman. I feel like even though we make fun of Aquaman has more solo pull than Namor just because of his name recognition.
Exactly.
Like everyone knows who Aquaman is. Also, DC is doing a solo Aquaman movie. So for Marvel, do you want to be seen as the copycat? Kind of like how DC was the copycat to you with their whole DCEU.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And Marvel is a company that they're very strategized. They plan things out. And they're not going to do anything that is going to, like, they will be fine with their, like, I know that many DC fans that I talk to hate this, where it's like, oh, Marvel movies are the same formula, the same type of movie, the same schedule. But I'm like, it works.
You watch it.
It works.
You go see it.
Exactly.
So what you complaining about? Or what are you saying?
Like, that's what it, like, they found their formula.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Exactly. And they're going to.
And that's the thing. They
stick with it.
They have a general formula and they make the alterations to, like, anything that just needs to
be done to it.
Yeah. So make it a little bit fresher. Like Thor Ragnarok was a little bit more fresh and et cetera. Doctor Strange was kind of more fresh from, like, what the old formula was. There's the general layout of everything. And then there's, like, the little, like, extra stuff thrown in that, like, kind of changed it up to, oh, hey, this kind of feels different. Yeah, it's the same storyline if you go to its base form, but
I'm still trying. To me, the thing that sucks, too, is I'm trying to think of, in my head, a good story for Namor in general. Because, let's say, maybe it's because I'm kind of fixating on the Namor against somebody. Like, I thought Doctor Strange, but then I'm like, really? Like, would Doctor Strange... Because the battle would have to happen on land. Yeah. Because Doctor Strange isn't going to go underwater.
Well, magic. He could probably make it so he could.
But, like, would you make Doctor Strange go underwater? Would you do an entire, like, hey, probably we're going to do Doctor Strange versus Namor? Like, that's the thing for me where I don't have a concrete in my head of, like, yes, this is what they should do of it. But I'm interested to introduce him into this universe. Maybe it's something where, like you said, maybe it doesn't play, like, because maybe it's because what we're seeing with Aquaman 2. The Aquaman movie, a good part of it is taking place underwater, but it's a solo Aquaman movie. Like, he's dealing with his brother who is taking over the throne, who hires Black Manta to take out, or hires Black Manta, gives him the technology to take out Iron Man so that he can have the throne, and Aquaman can't take that from him. But with Namor, they're not, since you're not going to do the solo movie, I'll ask you this. Should they just do a solo movie with Namor? Should they change their minds and say, you know what? Let's not introduce it this way. Let's do a solo movie.
I mean, I think I agree with that. They don't want to do the feel like the copycat. They might be just as well off doing it as a solo movie. I'm just trying to find, like, more heroes he's gone up against, which I'm not finding right now for some reason. But I mean, I would actually kind of like them to.
Are we coming at it the wrong way too? Instead of having him pit up against somebody, would it be, hey, in this person's movie, they are going up against a villain and they need Namor's help?
Could be that too. Then the question is, who would like need his help when it comes to something like that?
Well, I mean, there's been, like, I'm looking here, there is one that has him and Cap on the cover, and it says, "The Invaders Fight Again." And it's a Namor the Submariner comic, but it's got him, Captain America, and Johnny Storm in full flame ability on it. And it says, bursting from the blazing battlefields of World War II.
Oh, it's not Johnny Storm then.
No.
If it's from the battlefields of World War II?
I just read that, then it's not Johnny Storm.
No, it's the original Human Torch. Which, if you watch Captain America and when they're at the Stark... I don't think... Was it a Stark convention? It was it was like a World's Fair type thing they were at in the beginning. There was the Human Torch costume in a tube.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool, just a throwback in case anyone missed it.
Do they do that? Do they do a
throwback movie?
A throwback movie. Now with Captain America, because we know Chris Evans is walking away from the role. Is there maybe a Wakanda throwback movie? Like, I'm trying to think of, that's another thing that throws a wrench into this is
not having Chris Evans.
Well, no. Black Panther is the only established one.
Yeah.
Where everything else, you don't want to introduce Namor when you're introducing somebody else that's new.
No, what I was saying was, since Chris Evans is walking away, we can't really have like a flashback World War II Namor with Captain America together movie.
I know this is going to go against what you want because you want a Budapest movie, but I don't think we're going to get that. What if the Black Widow movie is not and this is me spitballing, this is not me going off of anything they said about Black Widow, I'm just spitballing here. What if instead of getting an origin story for Black Widow, because do we really need that? Like, we got Red Swan, and that one was kind of like not really that great.
It's not even Black Widow.
But it's Black Widow's story. Like, am I wrong?
Yeah.
Like, they gave us a Black Widow story.
No, it's not Black Swan,
Widow.
by the way.
Or Red. They said Red Swan.
No, isn't it like Red Canary or something like that?
I'm going to look it up. It's Jennifer Lawrence, so I'll just find her movies that she's been in. But, I mean, the thing is what if the Black Widow movie, if they change it to Black Widow, still back in the past one, like one of her earlier missions was to track down Namor.
Could be.
Like when she first got hired at S.H.I.E.L.D., one of her first missions, solo missions, was to track down Namor, track down the Submariner, because S.H.I.E.L.D. wants to keep tabs on him. What if it's something like that? Because, I mean, she's a secret agent, so of course, or a spy. So, I mean, there may be things of we could go. Red Sparrow, that's what it was.
There you go. Okay, and it was a small bird.
Red Sparrow. Was that movie. Basically the Black Widow movie without Black Widow. But other than that, I really you're not going to throw him. Do you throw him in an Eternals movie?
No, I don't think so.
Because that's going to be more space-based in my mind.
Yeah, no, you need something Earth-based, which is why I'm trying to think who he could be paired up with. It's too bad we don't have anyone that's having a solo movie that's World War II based. And you can have it. Oh, I mean, you can still do it, sort of throwbacky-ish, with the
Bucky.
Nah, I wasn't gonna say that one. Oh, you could. Nah, you just made it click.
What Bucky if after he falls before he's the Winter Soldier?
No, he's Winter Soldier.
He's hunting Namor?
Let me. Yeah, okay. In a sense, someone keeps destroying and taking out Hydra ships and submarine.
And it's Namor.
The submarine. It's Namor. They're going to send the Winter Soldier to take care of this.
And that would be a flashback because Bucky would then be the bad guy.
Yeah. Namor is, in a sense, the good guy. Bucky is kind of a reverse role.
Bucky and Winter Soldier, those characters are already established. So you wouldn't have to introduce anything. You already did that in Captain America, the Winter Soldier.
And if you make it in the 70s, 80s, you can have it as the Black Widow movie as well.
You could. That's the thing. Have they even written the script yet for the Black Widow movie?
I don't know, because it depends on what they're going. Because you and I talked, I think, once before at least, of like, oh, make it the.
So this is
if it's not Budapest, which would be hilarious.
This is from this week.
From what they described.
That according to perennial leak mongers, the hashtag show, along with a bevy of information about what else is on the studio's 2020 slate, they also dished up some particulars of what the Widow film will consist of, offering the following synopsis. Here it is. At birth, Black Widow is given to the KGB, which grooms her to become an ultimate operative. When the USSR breaks up, the government tries to kill her as the action moves to present-day New York, where she is a freelance operative. The standalone film will find Black Widow living in the United States 15 years after the fall of the Soviet Union. So the Soviet Union, fell in... What year would that be? I should know this, American history, but I don't. Okay, I'm going to spitball here because we've talked about with Black Widow before doing the combined story with her and the Winter Soldier. Mm-hmm. What if it's...
December 26, 1991.
That's when it fell?
Soviet Union dissolved in December 26, 1991.
So 1991, if that's 15 years afterwards, that's what, 20...
What else happened in 1991 in Marvel?
Tell me. Just tell me.
What the film?
Oh.
Not Winter Soldier, but
Iron Man? No. Oh, the fucking Captain Marvel movie.
Yeah, no, Captain Marvel. Well, Captain Marvel's happening in the 90s. But hold on, let me find when. Find me the.
Are you talking about it actually released or Civil War?
Civil War. What he wanted the film from when?
No, I'm blanking here.
Okay, just keep going while I look for it.
Here's what I'm thinking. So 1991 plus 15, that would be 10 years would be 2001, 5 years. So 2006. This movie is going to take place in 2006. At that point, do we know if Winter Soldier happened in... Did the Winter Soldier movie happen in present day? Do we know that for sure?
Winter Soldier?
Yes, the Captain America Winter.
It's present day except for the flashbacks.
So that would have been 20... If that is present day with the movie, 2014 would have been the year that Bucky and Cap go at each other. That means that this Black Widow movie is about, 8 years before Winter Soldier meets Cap. In that movie, I'm trying to think back because it's been a while since I've seen Winter Soldier. Because Black Widow didn't seem shocked by the Winter Soldier. Am I wrong in saying that? Like, Black Widow didn't seem shocked. Like, holy crap, who is this guy?
Not terribly. You're talking about in Civil War or in Winter Soldier?
Winter Soldier.
Not terribly because she had a run-in with him before.
Exactly.
That's what she had a scar on her stomach from.
What
shot through her.
What if that Black Widow movie is with the Winter Soldier and Namor is a part of that, where Natasha is going after the Winter Soldier is going after...
Like shortly after shooting through her? You talking
this
about
is when this is the movie where it happens.
Because what the story was with that is that she got shot through because she was like trying to... Her cargo or the scientist that she had with her was his target, and he shot through her to get to him.
True.
So that's what that is.
All I'm saying then is this could be another Black Widow Winter Soldier where what if S.H.I.E.L.D. wants her to go after him? He is then hunting somebody who's taking down Hydra ships, and that's Namor.
Yeah.
And then that's how S.H.I.E.L.D. finds out about Namor. Because if I'm not mistaken, in the Iron Man 3, I think it's Iron Man 3 S.H.I.E.L.D. map or Iron Man 2 S.H.I.E.L.D. map, the one where basically where Nick Fury is talking to Iron Man and everyone points it out because there's Black Panther in Wakanda.
The thing I was trying to find earlier, just to throw out there.
Go ahead.
Mission report, December 16th, 1991.
Okay.
10 days before there's a weird kind of correlation, though, to me.
10 days before the fall of the Soviet Union.
Yeah.
Is when that mission report.
Yeah, I mean, not that it has anything to do with it. He wanted to see that, but I mean, it's kind of funny that it's like 1991, December.
Maybe they play into it, but also
maybe they do.
I'm looking at that map, and what they have on it, they have a circle in Africa. That's Black Panther. They have a circle in Europe. They have a circle in New York, a circle in California, and a circle which looks like it's in Oklahoma. But then up in the top, they have a circle in the water just off of what I think would be Iceland or Greenland, whichever one is right next to Canada or right above Canada to the northeast. They have a circle just off the coast there. What if that one's Namor?
Could be, especially if it's just off the coast.
So it's like that's why S.H.I.E.L.D. had a track there, because when they sent Natasha to deal with the Winter Soldier, they also found out about Namor, because that's who the Winter Soldier was targeting with the Russians. Or it's S.H.I.E.L.D.'s got a bump on him. They sent her to go deal with him, and the Winter Soldier is also there trying to kill Namor. I like the first one better, where she's targeting him and then finds out, he is targeting Namor, and then that's where S.H.I.E.L.D. finds out about Namor and who he is.
Yeah.
Because then that would make sense, where it's like, hey, we haven't had to talk to you in a while. Maybe then in Avengers 4.
What I feel like it could be is like, not at first it starts as like an open-ended triangle. So like an angle.
Yeah. It's an angle.
No, I said open-ended triangle. I'm like, that would be an angle, Johnny.
You got
it's an angle where it's Black Widow.
It's a triangle without the tri.
Sure.
It's an angle.
Yeah. It starts with Black Widow going after Winter Soldier going after Namor, and then that last line connects, making it a triangle when she finds out he's going after Namor. He's kind of helping us. Maybe we should like have contact with them. So she's also starts to work with / go after him, not go after, but go after to find out who he is and like what he's all about.
Yeah.
To get like contact so that they have like, because even in the first Avengers movie, Nick Fury basically states that you're not the only one out there. There's more than just you, and this is before Thor really happened. Before,
you're talking about in Iron Man when
Iron Man 1.
Tony Stark
talks to Tony Stark at the very end and goes, you're not the, like, basically tells him you're not the only one out there. He's like, there's this going on. Like, this is before Cap was unfrozen from the ice. This is before Thor happened. It's around the time Hulk sort of happened. Because, I mean, technically we had that first Hulk movie, which does tie in to the other one, the Ang Lee Hulk movie.
Yeah.
Ties into the second one because they briefly use footage from the first one. So, I mean, it does tie in. So, I mean, Hulk technically happened first. But all in all, that means like now it ties into Captain Marvel is known in the 90s, which means now, hey, Namor could be thrown in the 90s. And they can do more throwback movies saying this other shit has happened before.
Hey, let's go back to the past.
Yeah, you can throw in more of, hey, this shit technically happened in the past, but it happened. Connect
the dots of what they've already kind of put out there.
Exactly. Because, I mean, to be fair, anything could happen now in any time because Nick Fury knows there's more than you out there, so which means it's already presented itself before you became Iron Man.
And I mean, that is one where maybe it is the Black Widow movie where they introduce him in. I kind of like that we started out with nothing and then kind of was like, oh, hey, maybe this one would work. And now we've kind of talked about that. Any final thoughts with us before we wrap up the entire podcast?
No, I would just like to know if they have anything, because like I don't have an extensive Namor knowledge.
You're talking about the people listening.
Yeah, you guys listening that I can't point at right now because that's not there.
That's funny. The camera that's not there, Johnny points to. It's okay. I'm going to do it right now. This is where you guys come in and let us know what you guys think down below. If there's a Namor story that you like, that you would want them to do, let us know what that is. You can also go ahead and check us out on Patreon if you want to help support the channel and what we do. If you join us at the $10 tier, you can come on a podcast, talk about whatever you would like each month you are at that tier for Patreon. You can also support us by getting yourself an MVP t-shirt. That is down below in the description, as well as at mostvaluablepodcast.com, where you can get your MVP each and every day. Last but not least, I looked it up earlier. We have no reviews on iTunes for the Rick and Johnny podcast. If you could please go ahead and give us a review on iTunes. Would love a 5-star rating, but whatever you think we are worth. And then let us know why you like listening to the podcast each and every week. Want to thank you guys for listening this week. We'll have the camera with the new tripod back next week. Want to thank you guys for everything. And as always, have a good day, everybody.